Hi there, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome back to ELA mini lesson. This is mini lesson number 11, and it's going to be a quick and easy one because we're going to go over something that we've already gone over before, footnotes. So go ahead and grab your packet and your ELA magazine, and we're going to get started. We'll do a quick refresher of what footnotes are, and then we'll kind of analyze them a little bit. Also, by the way, today is Monday, May 4th, so may the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day to everybody. Let's get started. Here we go. Okay, so let's quickly go over what footnotes are. Remember, footnotes are at the very bottom of a text. It can be in any type of text. We've seen it in a poem, and we've seen it in an informational text. And it's shown by the little numbers right here. The little number is on each page, and it corresponds to a different note at the bottom. Typically, the note gives a little information on the word or the phrase or the sentence that the author is talking about. So a footnote is a note placed at the bottom of the page and gives additional information. It has the more important information found in the footnote, and it is also called the superscript. I think I call it a subscript in the last episode, but it's called a superscript, which is the little number right next to whatever the footnote is, addressing. So the purpose for footnotes is just to give you more information. It's to help you understand things that are happening either in the story, in the poem, or in the text that'll give you more background information for you to really comprehend what's happening. So there's a couple footnotes in our reading that we've been reading about, so let's get started. There's a couple different ways to identify a footnote. First of all, what you can see is right next to the author right here, there's the superscript, which is the little number next to it. Now, it's also on the bottom. If you're looking at this page, you can see the one right here, but the bigger part is you can see information on the bottom. And the stuff about the text is it's smaller, it has a number next to it, and it's detached, meaning it's not a part of the regular paragraphs. It's not a part of the introduction or the regular paragraph, so it's down at the bottom. So we're actually going to turn to our graphic organizer right now. We'll read the directions and we'll use it to kind of analyze the footnotes a little bit more. The directions say, footnotes are examples of text features. Why do you think the author included the information in the footnotes? How does this information help you understand the story, water, sky? Okay, so we are going to analyze footnotes. There's actually 3 different footnotes in our story, water, sky. So you know what footnotes look like in a story. You know, you can look down here at the bottom. What I want you to go do really quickly is identify the 3 different footnotes that are in the story. What pages are the footnotes on, and write down the page numbers. Identify the page numbers. Go find the footnotes now. Go. Okay, so I found 3 separate footnotes. I found one on page 12, page 14, and one on page 18. So I'm actually going to write down each of the different footnotes right here, because then we're going to answer this first question. First question says, what information is included in the footnotes? So we're going to identify what information is on page 12, page 14, page 18. So what information is included in the footnotes? That's the first thing that we're going to identify first, is what information is included. Okay, so the first footnote is on page 12. It is right by the author's name, Jean Greghead George. So there's the little superscript right there. That's the one. The one tells us to go down to the one right here. And it says, Jean Greghead George, 1919 to 1912, was an American writer of more than 100 books for children and young adults, including the Newbery Medal-winning Julie of the Woods. Okay, so what information is included in the footnotes? The footnote information is stuff about the author, who the author is, and what they did, you know, important things about them. So for page 12 right here, what I would write down is information about the author. Go. So for page 12, what I just wrote down was information about the author. Now the next footnote is on page 14, so turn to page 14, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scan through my page and look and see where the superscript is, because I know the footnote is down here, but I want to find where it is in the paragraph. Okay, I found it in paragraph 9 next to this word right here, next to this word. This word says Eskimo. before I even read the footnote, I think that the information is going to be about Eskimos because that's the word that the superscript is attached to. So the word is Eskimos. I circled it. The subscript is right here. Notice how it's also number 1. So it's not similar to number 1 on this page. What I think the author did was assigned a different number to every single page number rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only one footnote on this page, so it's going to only be the one footnote for this page 14. Okay, so Eskimos go all the way down. Number 1 says, term referring to the Inuit and Yupik people from the Ojibwa word meaning maker of shoes. So what the footnote is doing down here is describing what an Eskimo is. It is referring to the Inuit and Yupik people, and it means maker of snow. So on what information is included in the footnote, it describes what an Eskimo is. So I'm going to write that down. You should too. Describes what an Eskimo is. Okay, so what information is included in the footnote? The information, it describes what an Eskimo is. Okay, so after you've written that down, we're going to go to page 18, and we're going to look for the final footnote. So I can see the footnote is down here, so I'm going to go find the superscript in the regular text. So it is in paragraph 26, and it's right after this word. So I circled the word that it's right after. This word says hoarfrost, and there's that superscript number 1. Again, it's the number 1, but it doesn't mean it's the first one in the story. It means the first one on this page 18. Okay, so hoarfrost 1, I'm going to go down to the footnote, and I'm going to read what it says. Hoarfrost, ice crystal deposits that form on objects in sub-zero temperatures. Okay, so what this footnote is doing is defining what hoarfrost means. It is an ice crystal that's on objects. So for what information is included in the footnotes, I'm just going to say defines the word hoarfrost. So next to my page 18 footnote, I just said describes the word hoarfrost. Okay, so the next question in our graphic organizer says, why did the author include this information in the footnotes? So why did the author include information about the author? Why did the author describe what an Eskimo is? And why did the author define what the word hoarfrost is? So what I would look at is, what I would say is basically the author is doing a lot of defining and describing. And they're defining and describing words that us as the readers might not know. We might not know what an Eskimo is. We might not know what hoarfrost means. And we might not know who this author, Jean Craighead George is. So why did the author include information in the footnotes? It's used there to kind of help the reader learn about unfamiliar language or unfamiliar words. It's to help the reader learn new things as they're reading the story so they can kind of stay in the story without being confused. So it's to help the reader. So go ahead and write down why the author included the information in the footnotes. Go. Okay, and the last question on your graphic organizer says, how do the footnotes help me understand the text? That is for you to answer. It's not for me to answer. How does understanding who Jean Craighead George is, what Eskimos are, and what hoarfrost is, how does that help you understand the text? So you should write 2 sentences right there on how it helps you understand the text. So I would start by saying, it helps me understand the text by, and then filling it in. Write about 2 sentences for that, okay? Go get started. There you go. And finally, we're going to apply this information and answer the question on the bottom. It says, what information can the reader gain from the footnote at the bottom of the first page of Water Sky? So I would go to the first page of Water Sky, which is on page 12, look over it, and then answer the question on the bottom. Don't forget to type your answer on your homework log. So whatever answer you choose, if you choose A, go type A. If you chose B, go type B, and so on.